James and Anna had been married for 8 years. From the outside, they seemed like the perfect couple. They had a beautiful house, 2 kids, and a life full of promise. But underneath the surface, things weren't as perfect as they appeared. Anna had always been an affectionate wife. She would leave little notes in James's bag, cook his favorite meals, and make sure the house was always cozy and warm. But in recent months, something had changed. James had noticed that she had become more distant, often preoccupied with her phone and distracted during dinner. Still, he dismissed it as the pressures of her job, the kids, and the daily grind. After all, they'd been through rough patches before, and they always pulled through. But this time, something felt different. Anna had met Ben at a conference she attended for work a few months ago. He was charming, confident, and paid her attention in a way James hadn't in years. It started innocently enough, just casual conversations about work. But soon their texts became more frequent, and the flirtation that had once seemed harmless turned into something more. She found herself drawn to him in a way that was both thrilling and terrifying. She knew it was wrong, but the excitement of being desired again was intoxicating. The affair wasn't something Anna had planned. It just happened. One late evening, James was working late, and Anna found herself in Ben's arms. The guilt hit her immediately, but the passion in that moment drowned out everything else. Over time, their meetings became more secretive, and Anna's guilt grew, but so did her longing for Ben. It was as though the two halves of her life, the devoted wife and the secret lover, had become separate worlds, and each was demanding more of her. James, on the other hand, had no idea. He had been so caught up in work and his own life that he hadn't noticed the subtle shifts in their relationship. He trusted Anna implicitly, never suspecting that the woman he had built a life with had a secret. He still came home every evening, happy to see her and their children. Their life seemed stable, predictable. One evening, James came home earlier than usual. He noticed Anna's car in the driveway, but something felt off. She wasn't in the living room like she usually was when he arrived. He found her upstairs sitting by the window, her phone in her hand, eyes glazed over. She quickly tucked the phone away as he entered, but the look in her eyes was unreadable. "Everything okay?" James asked, his voice tinged with concern. "Yeah," Anna replied a little too quickly. "Just tired. Long day." James nodded, but his instincts told him something was wrong. However, he didn't press the issue. He had learned to pick his battles, and this just didn't feel like one he wanted to fight. Days passed, and the cracks in their marriage grew larger. Anna's late-night texting and sudden absences became more frequent. One evening, she came home smelling faintly of perfume that wasn't hers. James didn't say anything, but it gnawed at him. His suspicions started to build, but he couldn't bring himself to confront her. He loved her too much to believe it could be true. Then one day, James found an envelope tucked into the back of a drawer. It was a receipt from a restaurant, a place he knew Anna had never mentioned. But there was something more. The date and time were the same as when she'd claimed to be at a work event. His heart skipped a beat, and a knot formed in his stomach. He didn't know what to think. Was this proof of what he feared, or was it just a misunderstanding? He decided to keep quiet, unsure of how to approach the situation, but his mind couldn't let it go. The possibility that his wife, the woman he thought he knew so well, might be hiding something from him made him feel like his world was crumbling. Anna, on the other hand, lived in constant fear of being caught. She hadn't been able to shake the guilt that gnawed at her, but the allure of her secret affair kept her going, even as it ate away at her from the inside. One night, as James lay beside her, trying to sleep, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. He turned to Anna, who was facing away from him, her eyes wide open in the dark. "Anna," he whispered, "is everything okay?" She didn't answer immediately. Her breathing was slow, controlled, as if she were trying to keep her emotions in check. Finally, she turned to him. "Everything's fine," she said, but there was a slight tremor in her voice. James, heart heavy, didn't know whether to believe her. The woman in front of him was the same, yet different. He felt he was losing the woman he loved without even knowing why. And Anna? She was torn between the man she had pledged her life to and the man who had awakened a part of her that she thought was long.